Our constitution is a ray of hope. H for harmony, O for opportunity, P for people participation, and E for equality. A very warm good morning to one and all present here. I am Pallavi from class 10 Law.
I am Khushbu Awasthi, Law Center. Today, as we came together to begin our new day, let us embrace the opportunity to learn, grow, and make a difference. Let's start the day on a positive note by invoking the blessings of the
Brothers and sisters, I love my country and I am proud of
in 1949 by the Constituent Assembly.
Today's assembly is not a normal one. It's very special because today is Constitution Day. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought and expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the people. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Jai Hind.
भारत के लोग भारत को एक संपूर्ण प्रभुत्व संपन्न समाजवादी पंथनिरपेक्ष लोकतंत्रात्मक गणराज्य बनाने के लिए तथा उसके समस्त नागरिकों को सामाजिक, आर्थिक और राजनीतिक न्याय, विचार, अभिव्यक्ति, विश्वास, धर्म और उपासना की प्रतिष्ठा, समानता की क्षमता प्राप्त कराने के लिए तथा उन सब में व्यक्ति की गरिमा और अखंडता, राष्ट्र की एकता और अखंडता सुनिश्चित कराने के लिए तथा उन सब में बंधुता बढ़ाने के लिए
These rights enshrined in Part 3 of our Constitution are essential for ensuring equality, justice and freedom for every citizen of India. Let us take a moment to understand these rights, which form the foundation of our democracy. Right to equality, Article 14 to 18. Right to equality guarantees equal rights for every, irrespective of gender, caste, race or place of birth. Right to freedom, Article 19 to 22. The Indian Constitution guarantees freedom to citizens, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly without arms, freedom of association, freedom to practice any profession. Right against exploitation, Article 23 to 24. This right implies the prohibition of trafficking in human beings and other form of forced labor. It also implies the prohibition of children in factories, etc. Right to freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28. This indicates there is equal respect given to all cultural and educational rights, Article 29 to 30. These rights protect the right of religious, cultural, and linguistic minorities by facilitating them to preserve their heritage and culture. Educational rights are for ensuring education for everyone without any discrimination. Right to constitutional remedies, Article 30 to 35. The Constitution guarantees remedies if citizens' fundamental rights are violated. The government can't infringe upon anyone's right when these rights are violated.
समानता का अधिकार अनुच्छेद 14 से 18 कानून के समक्ष समानता सुनिश्चित करता है और धर्म, जाति, लिंग, जन्म, स्थान या नस्ल के आधार पर भेदभाव को रोकता है। स्वतंत्रता का अधिकार अनुच्छेद 14 से 18 अभिव्यक्ति, विचार, आंदोलन, सभा और किसी भी व्यवसाय को अपनाने की स्वतंत्रता प्रदान करता है। शोषण के खिलाफ अधिकार अनुच्छेद 23 से 24 मानव तस्करी, जबरन, श्रम और बच्चों को खतरनाक परिस्थितियों में काम पर रखने को रोकता है। धार्मिक स्वतंत्रता का अधिकार अनुच्छेद 25 से 28 धार्मिक मान्यता, उपासना और प्रचार की स्वतंत्रता सुनिश्चित करता है। सांस्कृतिक और शैक्षिक अधिकार अनुच्छेद 29 से 30 अल्पसंख्यकों को अपनी सांस्कृतिक भाषा और लिपि को संरक्षित करने और शैक्षिक संस्थान चलाने का अधिकार प्रदान करता है। संवैधानिक उपचार का अधिकार अनुच्छेद 32 नागरिकों को उनके मौलिक अधिकारों के उल्लंघन पर अदालत का दरवाजा खटखटाने का अधिकार देता है।
To prevent fundamental duties, to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals, the national flag and the nation anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideals that inspired India's freedom struggle, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India and re-announce practices derogatory to women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment including forests, lakes and wildlife, and to have compensation for living creatures, to develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property, to adjust balance, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collectively activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endure and achievement, to provide opportunity for education to one's child or word between the ages of 6 and 14 years, added by the 86th Amendment.
संविधान का पालन करना, राष्ट्रीय ध्वज और राष्ट्रीय गान को सम्मान देना, स्वतंत्रता के लिए राष्ट्रीय आंदोलन को प्रेरित करने वाले उच्च आदर्शों को हृदय में संजोए रखे और उनका पालन करें। भारत की संप्रभुता, एकता और अखंडता को बनाए रखे, देश की रक्षा करे और मदद के समय राष्ट्र सेवा प्रदान करे। भारत के सभी लोगों में समरसता और भारत में का भावना के लिए निर्माण करे और महिलाओं के प्रति अपमानवादी प्रथाओं का त्याग करे। हमारी सामाजिक संस्कृति की गौरवशाली परंपरा का महत्व समझे और उसका परिरक्षण करे। प्राकृतिक पर्यावरण जिसके अंतर्गत वन, झील, नदी और वन्यजीव आते हैं, उनकी रक्षा करे और जानवरों के प्रति दयालु बने। वैज्ञानिक दृष्टिकोण से मानवतावाद और ज्ञानार्जन तथा सुधार की भावना का विकास करे। सार्वजनिक संपत्ति को सुरक्षित रखे और हिंसा से दूर रहे। व्यक्तिगत और सामूहिक गतिविधियों के सभी क्षेत्रों में उत्कर्ष की ओर बढ़ने का सतत प्रयास करे, जिससे राष्ट्र प्रगति की ओर निरंतर बढ़ते हुए उपलब्धि की नई ऊंचाइयों को प्राप्त किया जा सके। 6 से 14 वर्ष की आयु के बच्चों को शिक्षा का प्रदान करें। धन्यवाद।
I am going to share you the second part of our incredible constitution journey. From adoption of first amendment 1950 to 1951, when the constitution came into effect in 1950, it was a historic moment. However, it quickly became clear that certain challenges needed immediate attention. In 1951, the first amendment was passed. It addressed freedom of speech by placing reasonable restrictions to maintain public order and protect national security. It also introduced provisions to support land reforms and protect laws aimed at eliminating socio-economic inequalities from being challenged in courts. Building a strong democracy in 1950s and 1970s. As a newly independent nation, India faced many challenges: poverty, illiteracy, and social inequalities. During these years, the judiciary and the parliament played a pivotal role in shaping how the constitution would serve the people. Important amendments. 7th Amendment 1956 ratified the structures of Indian states in creating a more organized federal system. 10th Amendment 1961 integrated Dadar and Nagar Haveli into India. During this time, the judiciary began establishing its authority as the guardian of the constitution through significant verdicts. The era of landmark changes 1970s. The 1970s were a turning point in the constitution's evolution. 24th Amendment 1871 empowered Parliament to amend any part of the Constitution, including fundamental rights. 42nd Amendment 1976, known as the Mini Constitution. This amendment introduced the words socialist, secular, and integrity in
Going through the inspiring journey of how our great nation's constitution came into existence. This period from independence in 1947 to the adoption of the Constitution in 1950 was one of the most defining moments in our history. The path of independence and the dream of self-rule. On 15th August 1947, India finally broke free from the chains of British colonial rule after nearly 200 years of struggle and sacrifice. This movement marked as the beginning of a new era for our country, a moment of celebration but also a moment of immense responsibility. While we had gained independence, the question before us was how do we govern ourselves as a free and united nation? Our leaders knew that the foundation of this governance had to be rooted in the principles of democracy, equality, justice, and liberty. They envisioned a future where every citizen would have equal rights, opportunities, and freedom. The formation of the Constituent Assembly to fulfill the monumental task, a Constituent Assembly was formed in 1946, even before independence. This assembly consisted of 299 members who represented different religions, communities, and ideologies, ensuring that the voices of every section of society were heard. The responsibility of drafting the constitution was given to some of the brightest minds and most committed leaders of our time. Among them was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who served as the chairman of the drafting committee. He is often called the architect of Indian Constitution for his pivotal role in shaping its content. Other prominent members included Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, and Sarojini Naidu, among many others. The drafting of the constitution was no simple task. The assembly met 2 years, 11 months, and 17 days, engaging in intense debates and discussions. They examined the constitutions of various countries, including the United States, Britain, Ireland, and Canada, to adopt the best principles while tailoring them to India's unique needs and diversity. One of the most remarkable aspects of this process was the inclusivity with which the constitution was formed. The members of the assembly worked tirelessly to ensure that the constitution reflected the aspirations of Indians irrespective of this caste, religion, gender, or economic background. On 13 December 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved the Objectives Resolution which outlined the principles that would guide the drafting of the Constitution. It declared India to be independent, sovereign, democratic, republic dedicated to ensuring justice, liberty, and equality for all its citizens. On 26 November 1949, the final draft of the Constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly. This day is celebrated as Constitution Day to honor this historic achievement. Finally, the Constitution came into effect on 26 January 1950, a day chosen to commemorate the Purna Swaraj Declaration of 1930 when India first resolved to fight for complete independence. The journey from independence to the adoption of the Constitution is a testament to the vision, determination, and hard work of our leaders. They gave us not just a document, but a guiding force, a living framework that continues to shape our nation. Dr. Ambedkar once said, "The Constitution is not a mere lawyer's document, it is a vehicle of life, and its spirit is always the spirit of age." This means that our Constitution is dynamic, adaptable, and ever evolving, designed to meet the needs of the present while honoring the values of the past. This journey from independence to the adoption of the Constitution is a story of hope, reliance, and unity. It reminds us of the sacrifices made and the vision our leaders had for a strong and democratic India. As we celebrate Constitution Day, let us honor their legacy by understanding, respecting, and upholding the principles enshrined in our Constitution. Thank you.
Today we gather to celebrate Constitution Day, a day which marks the adaptation of our country's foundational document, the Indian Constitution. As we celebrate this momentous occasion, we pay tribute to chief architect of our Constitution, the visionary Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar's contribution to our nation's history is immeasurable. As the chairman of drafting committee, he played an important role in shaping the Constitution, ensuring that it enshrines the values of justice, equality, and fraternity. As we celebrate Constitution Day, we must remember the significance of the Constitution in our lives. It is a living document that has guided our nation's progress, protect our fundamental rights and promote justice. So let us take a moment to reflect on the value enshrined in our Constitution. Let us reframe our commitment to upholding the principle of justice, equality and fraternity by this Assembly. Thank you.
Of the Indian judiciary begins. During the British colonial period, the first formal court, the Supreme Court of Calcutta, was established in 1774 under the Regulating Act of 1773. The judiciary's role as the guardian of the Constitution is exemplified through its judgment in several landmark cases. Let us explore a few of these verdicts that have shaped India's democratic fabric. Keswananda Bharti versus State of Kerala, 1973. This case introduced the basic structure of doctrine, which protects the core principle of the Constitution, such as democracy, secularism, and the rule of law. The Supreme Court ruled that while Parliament has the power to amend the Constitution, it can't alter its basic structure. The judgment serves as a shield ensuring that the Constitution remains true to its founding ideals. Mega Gandhi versus State of Rajasthan, 1997. This case expanded the interpretation of Article 21, the right to life and personal liberty.
Celebrate the ideas and principles enshrined in our Constitution. I stand before you to highlight the critical role of Supreme Court of India, the guardian of our Constitution. It is the Supreme Court that ensures the Constitution remains a living document upholding the rule of law, safeguarding the fundamental rights, and preserving the democratic fabric of our nation. The Supreme Court of India is more than just a legal institution, it is the soul of our Constitution. The Supreme Court's primary responsibility is to safeguard the fundamental rights guaranteed to every citizen under Part 3 of the Constitution, whether it is the right to equality, the right to freedom, or the right to constitutional remedies. Through this mechanism, the court examines the validity of laws and executive actions to ensure they are in line with the Constitution. Judicial authority at the Supreme Court resolves dispute between the union state, two or more states, and citizens. The government, by doing so, it maintains the delicate balance of power between the legislative, executive, and judiciary.